Hey guys, this is Andy here at Mobile Must Have. In today's video, I am basically doing a seasonal checkup of my water filter system. I'm changing the filters out, I'm refreshing the water softener. I also have some new accessories from Blue I am kind of installing or adding to my setup. So I wanted to kind of just show you guys what I've picked up recently and what my setup going into 2025 for my water filtration will look like. So let's dive in and start the unboxing. All right, so really, I guess before I get started, I want to show you what my current setup is. And not that I'm changing it all that much, but I'm going to add a water filter, a water softener, sorry, to it, and just kind of what we're working with. So this is my current setup. I've got just the MR3, the Mobile Must Have exclusive one here. I've been putting it in the bag because it's easier to carry, which we'll talk about more in a second. And then it goes right into my water bay. And then I'm using the splitter. So kind of simple setup, but this is what we're starting with. Lots of stuff for future moments in this video. But like I said, we're gonna first start with new filters. Now, Blue has gone through a couple different color styles of these filters. So this is the new one. The new ones are all white. They're all the same filters. If you've got different color ones, no worries. They are literally all the same thing. This is how we loosen it. We get our little tool, and water's gonna get all over this table. That's okay. Okay, that just saves my table from getting drenched. First one. Ooh, man, checking these live on camera is always fun. Okay, this is my longevity filter. I will say, we were just in Utah and Arizona for the last, I don't know, 6 months. So these are gonna be, yeah, gnarly orange from the desert. That is why we have filters in these things. Now this one you can't see on the outside because that's not necessarily the filter itself, but on the inside you can see it's just as orange. Good deal. So this is definitely in need of a refresh. How nice. If you're wondering when to replace your filters, a couple different ways you can do it. One is always time. They do have basically an expiration period. Not that the filters go bad, but they will start growing algae. And there's nothing you can really do about that once they've started being used. So they really need to be changed around the 4-month mark because algae will just build up in them, whether you're using them or not. So something to keep in mind. So even if your trailer you used it once or twice and you didn't necessarily drain it and dry these out, there could be, might be algae growth, and that could be the reason you need to change these. The second is, it could be you just were somewhere super dirty water, like a well or just a campground that didn't do their own filtration. And if that is the case, you will notice a pretty big drop in water pressure, and that is also the time to change it. Now, something to look at every time you're changing, you have these rubber seals, these silicone seals that will connect basically these canisters to the plastic containers themselves. If for some reason those break, crack, or for some reason aren't working, you can get new ones. It's part of my 2025 kind of upgrade here. I bought one just in case I had any cracked ones. I have not had any leaking issues. These look pretty good. But we're going into January in Texas. That's always when things start freezing. And that could be what cracks one. So I bought one just in case. Now, if you want to be all fancy and clean these out, you can. I have at times, but I'm not going to today. I'm just going to make sure these seals are all there. And then I put the cups on. You notice I'm doing these upside down. I find working with gravity is easier than fighting it. There's also a specific order. It will tell you as you undo them, but it is going to be longevity is first, then your safety filter, and then last is your taste filter. It's on the wrapping as you undo them. They're in order in the box. But yeah, that is the order. All right, so I'm going to tighten these up and get right back to you. All right, just wrapping up here. We're just doing the last kind of hand tighten on these. With this, you do not want to go over tight. You don't need to go over tight. I go right to where I can barely do it with my hands anymore. And then, I don't know, maybe an eighth of a turn, quarter of a turn at most. And that is all you need to do to get your filters in place. Now, I'm going to actually go water pressure this in a second before I put it back in the bag. I'm just trying to prevent a ton of water going in the bag. So we'll do that in a second, because now we're going to turn to the water softener itself. Now, I'm going to talk quickly about my water softener as we're preparing this one. I noticed back in September, October, when I was doing a recharge on this, so I was putting some salts in there, that I had basically a cracked, I'm not sure what the right term for this is, but this gray plastic part had cracked ever so slightly. Here's the picture of it. And with that, I could no longer I was getting beads through the water softener. I think, yeah. Okay, this is going to take some TLC. So I'm going to have to move and get this rinsed out. I will be right back. Okay, so what I just experienced trying to open this was basically some of the beads had gone on the threads, and if they're stuck on the threads, this will not open for you. All you need to do is run water basically through it, let the beads basically fall back down to the bottom, slowly drain this out so beads don't get back on the threads, and then it twists off basically perfectly. So this is the one I need to replace, and not only am I replacing this, I'm going to replace all the silicone beads as well, or the resin beads, sorry. And here you can see this is cracked a couple ways. I have no idea how this got cracked. Like I said, I found this in September, October, before it had frozen where we were. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't know if it was over pressurized, possible, or what's happened, but yeah, so that cracked, that was one problem. And the other problem I'm having is there was just a lot of hard water buildup. I've had to basically descale my tankless hot water heater. So instead of fighting and overcharging and recharging the beads, I'm just basically going to replace them. And that is what is in this box here. So if you are in a situation where you just can't get the water softener to kind of perform where you want, you can kind of do a start over. And that's what we're going to demo here today, is just basically putting in a whole new set of resin beads in the softener. So that's what you need. Sometimes you just got to start from scratch. And that's where we are today, going into 25. We've got these beads. They've lasted us 3 years. They've done a great job. This is definitely not always necessary, but sometimes if you just kind of neglected it, you haven't kept up with it, or for whatever reason, this is just easier. This is what I wanted to show today, how to do this. All right, so first is getting rid of the beads inside here with the water. So this part is going to be more tedious than anything else, and it might change in your local area, but for resin like this, in Texas, where I'm currently at, it is suggested you just throw the resin in the trash. So I'm going to do the best job I can to drain it, and then collect it all, and then we're going to rinse it out a couple times just to make sure it's all nice and clean in there, and then we'll put the new stuff in. I'm trying to get the water out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple more pieces of resin in there, and that's okay, we're putting more in. So it's about the chemical exchange that we're going for. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean. One thing I wanna keep in mind and remind you of is there is a liner inside here. So you wanna make sure you're not damaging that liner and doing anything that would prevent that, because now kind of compromising the system. So when I'm spraying in here, I'm using a very gentle, kind of very wide spray. So it's gentle, it's just putting water in, it's not scrubbing the edges or going to do anything to harm that inside liner. Okay, well, we've got this kind of rinsed out and bagged up. Now let's go put the new stuff in. Now this is going to be the old one. We don't need this one anymore. Put that one over here with our old filters. And we've got our new head here. Now before I make this all dirty, I'm just gonna check the seal is on there. That's good. It does fit. Yes, fits nicely. All right, so let's add the new resin. All right, now I've seen a lot of people do this with funnels or other things. I'm just cutting a smaller size hole in the bag, and we're gonna slowly, ever so slowly, work it in. Okay, it's kind of like glitter, goes everywhere. All right, just like that, it is full. Now, I'm actually head back to the water because we are going to add some water and get them soaking. All we've done is basically add some water. That'll allow them to move around as we put this in. We still need to do our full filter, new filter rinse on the new filters and do our rinsing of the new resin. I'm just gonna do them at the same time and kind of prep the systems for that. So that is going to be soon after this process. We're almost there. I do wanna highlight a couple of new accessories I've added to my setup, which I'm really excited about. The first is going to be these new Quick Connect covers. You can get them in sets, so that comes with like both sides of the Quick Connect, and you can put them on hoses. You can put them, I plan to put them on both these as they're in the cases so they're not sloshing water. And just as you're familiar with the Quick Connects, they slide into the Quick Connects and are basically just a cover for them. So they're protected. You're not gonna get stuff inside while your water is around. And there's ways to attach it if you want to put them on the collars and stuff like that, which I'll work on next. And I got two sets. So I got one for the softener and one for the MR3 itself. So I think there's a couple different ways you can do the rinses. One of my ways I've done this is I've actually rinsed my black tanks through this just to get through some water, which you typically can need to do. And I'll probably do that here because I just don't like all this water going into landscaping per se. And so, or a shower, depending on what you're trying to do. If I'm just doing like a filter change, a shower sometimes is enough water to really get through. I don't need to be drinking. I don't drink the shower water typically, even though of course it's all from the same place. So definitely some creative ways you can use water while you're doing your filter rinses without necessarily just draining it through. We're from kind of this Texas drought area, so it's always been important to us to conserve when we can, and so that's something I'm probably going to do next. But it's running nice and clear. It was yellow there for a minute, and now we're running nice and clear. So I'm going to do a quick black tank rinse, which I need to do anyways, and that way we can just get some water moving through the system without it being a total waste. I realized as I was hooking this up, some people might be panicking that I'm running a black tank rinse with my water filter and of any backflow. And I have a backflow preventer in this side of it with the Quick Connect. So there is no way water is coming basically out the other direction. Plus I also have basically a valve up this level, so I don't ever turn off the valve unless there's pressure going that way. So we want to make sure absolutely that nothing comes back, especially from the black tank system. So, all right, now let's get this flush going. I've basically confirmed everything's working. I'm not seeing any leaks anywhere that I don't anticipate. I don't see any leaks anyways. I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I'm going to, I think, bag these up at this point and consider this project a wrap. So let's get those bags on and call it a day. All right, so if you're new to these water systems, kind of the final tour is this is how you want to have it set up. You want to have your splitter at the spigot. This gives you a lot of options. I can run filtered water, I can run unfiltered water, and normally I'm rinsing tanks with unfiltered water. I don't need that type of usage going through my filter. I don't care, it's going into a black tank anyways. So normally I'm having my flushes if the kids need water outside. Sometimes I'll give them kind of something off the filter, but normally that would just be unfiltered water. Then I go immediately into my high pressure regulator. This means the rest of the system after the splitter is going to be at the right pressure, at the pressure I want it to be at. And then I'm going to run my hose. And typically I'm running a 25-foot hose. I normally 80 to 85% of the time see that 25 feet is good enough, but I do carry a second 25-footer if I need the extra length. So now we're 25 feet up to the filter. Oh, and then also you can see I have a second quick connect on the system here with the quick connect sprayer nozzle. There we go. So it's easy to get on and off. I can do it here at the spigot level, or I can do it on basically like our shower connector up in the front. So below me, I've got the MR3 and then the blue water softener, and that comes all the way up through basically two 5-foot hoses. So I've got the 25-foot to the blue, to the MR3. I have a 5-foot to the softener and another 5-foot up into here. Now here I have the flow meter. I typically reset that every travel day just to kind of gauge how much water we're using at a particular place. So far we've been here, let's see, what is today, Monday? We got here about a week ago, and we've used 389 gallons. So that's for 6 people. You know, just normal stuff. I haven't done any big flushes yet or anything through that particular meter. But a couple showers, dishes, all that kind of stuff. And then it goes into a right angle from blue. Now, all of this is utilizing their stainless steel. That's important because we know the manufacturing of brass has some mercury in it, so we don't want that touching anything we might be consuming. So this is all stainless steel, food grade level kind of equipment, and that's why we go with blue in general. So that is my general setup. Now, right below here, this is going to be my black flush. I have a blue quick connect, and then the regulator, or the backflow preventer, and valve itself on there. More coming in the future around some options here. And then finally, if you're looking for any other accessories, they have this great kind of nice metal handle. I put this on the outdoor shower that comes with the Keystones. It just came with kind of that brass finish. I put a quick connect on it, so it's super easy to spray down feet or anything dirty that comes out of it. It's just always attached, really easy to use. So that's kind of the setup I've got. And of course, not more than 30 seconds after I turn on the water, the hot water heater comes on and the family is using water again. So thank you for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about any of the products, I will have linked them in the video description, depending on how you're watching this particular video. If you have any questions on those accessories, we'll have basically a collection linked or those products listed anywhere. We really are big fans of the blue water filter system. That's why we sell it here at Mobile Must Have. It's something we travel with, something we trust. It's really high quality. You're not going to have issues with it. If you buy from Mobile Must Have, we also are going to give you the best warranties out of any blue resellers, because it's just something we believe in so much. We are taking care of the warranties ourselves here at Mobile Must Have. If you have any other questions, please leave comments below. We love engaging with you in the comments. If you want something more direct, you can send us an email at info@mobilemusthave.com or chat with us directly. It's on the bottom right-hand side of the website. Final comment is, if you are a member of Mobile Must Have, you get discounts on all this stuff. You can get up to 10% off if you're a member. So definitely check out our memberships if you're looking to learn more, kind of get inside scoops, get those special discounts. Those are available to our members. You can learn more about that. MobileMustHave.com members, or just you can find that in the navigation. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and helping me get my water system set up for 2025. I hope to see you guys all on the road. Bye.